Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have Marvel Legends series X-Men Marvel's Beast, and this is from the Calaban Build-A-Figure wave. And huge shout out to Amazon for shipping this early, because I was supposed to be waiting until July, but they said, hey, shipping early, so they shipped it and I got it Saturday. And I'm super stoked to have this figure, even though I do have the Toy Biz Beast, so it's sort of like I gotta, put them side by side and really look at them and hammer out which one to me is going to fit with my Jim Lee collection. So Beast comes in that typical style packaging. Got the X-Men X on the top. We got some really nice artwork on the side here. Same on both sides. And we get that same artwork on the back, as it's blurry, so let's focus it here. And we get some read-up information as well. And then we got everybody from the wave. And it's crazy though, they didn't do any realism. They just did the comic art on these ones. And this wave is going to be fantastic. And the Build-A-Figure looks pretty cool. But what's weird is like you have the Build-A-Figure image, everything else is artwork. So either way, let's get Hank out of the package. Out of the box, Hank McCoy looks pretty awesome. And it was a very difficult decision to invest into this figure since I had the Toy Biz figure already. And the Toy Biz figure is so good that I was like, you know what? Hasbro's doing a really good job with putting the Toy Biz figures into their graves. So let me go ahead and invest into this guy. And out of the package, he doesn't really disappoint too much. He does come with the Build-A-Figure piece, which is the head of Calaban, which looks really good. We'll get into Calaban once I build him up. And he comes with 2 alternate hands. The funny thing is, the hands he has equipped are 2 different hands, and the additional hands he gets are even more different. So we get this really cool open palm hand, sculpted very nice. I wish I had a little bit of wash to pop the sculpt out a little bit, or at least some painted fingernails would have been really nice as well. But the open palm is sculpted very, very nicely. Then we get a fisted hand. The fur sculpted nice. And again, looks really good, but when you look at it this way, it would have been nice to have the fingernails painted, because that would have made it pop a little bit more and not just blend in together. So, not too bad. But let's dive in to the figure itself. And he is a meaty, hefty looking figure. Now, let's look at this face sculpt. I know a lot of people were hating on it, but I don't think it looks bad. I know everybody wanted that 100% 90s cartoon style Beast. But this one's not horrible, but I don't care for the overly painted head. I don't know if it's overly painted or something where it causes a crazy gloss and shine. Like it's just, it looks like something that was overpainted. His teeth aren't even painted perfectly either. But it's not horrible. Is it the best? Nah. We might see some add-ons later. Probably. But the head sculpt is not bad. And the reason I'm saying it's not bad is because this was based off of Jim Lee's artwork, actually. I'm going to show the image right now. Now, I had to give a huge shout out to Brock from Life of Brock. He pointed that out during his Beast review. And it was one of those parts of information that I really didn't want to exclude from my review, due to the fact that a lot of people have been complaining about this head sculpt, and now we have physical proof of why and what this head sculpt was based off of. So you really can't complain. It's accurate. The body and everything of this figure is pretty on point. A lot of sculpted hair detail on the entire figure. I mean, insane amount of sculpt. But I feel like some of it just gets lost without having a wash. Like some of the stuff where it has the little bit of dry brushing that's faded through, it pops a lot. But when you get down to like his thighs, you can see the thighs, it just all sort of blends together. But still a really nice sculpted figure. Now, he's nice, really nice. The biggest thing, I just wish they would have not have globbed on paint or made his face so super shiny. Crazy. But articulation wise, his head is sort of, his like neck is arched a little bit, so he can look up about that far with the disc hinge. Then he can look down that far. So we get some decent, you know, articulation with looking up and down. And then, of course, is looking left and right, and a little bit of attitude going on there. And they did cram a bunch of articulation into this. We have a butterfly joint. Butterfly goes back. It's sculpted in hair. It's not just smooth. And the sculpted in hairs on the back as well. So we got butterfly joints. The arms can go up like so. Can't really complain about that. That looks really, really good. Arm goes up like so. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. Wrist rotation and the bend. Same on both sides. And he articulates very easily. Then we get into this new type of technology that they did. No, they actually combined two types. We have this ab, you know, rotation. It's a little tight. Get left and right, you know. Lots of really cool motion out of it. But he also has an ab crunch as well. Now we do get to see inside, like some gappage down here, gappage up there. But I mean, we get some really nice articulation out of this guy. He doesn't have his waist swivel. I'm completely okay with it. If you guys watch my reviews, I'm really not a fan of bookshelf hips because that doesn't seem natural when you turn it and you have these two chunks sticking out the side. So then you can get a lot out of his upper torso and it looks more natural. That cracking and stuff just, man, I'm waiting for his top to just fall off, but it's a great design. You know, they made a good choice. Got a little extra fleck of something up there, but not a deal breaker. His shorts are actually sculpted. I thought these were just painted. They are sculpted on there. Paint sort of stopped a little bit early on mine, if you can see that right there. And the X-Men belt is separate. It can slide up and adjust. It's not bad. He can actually do the splits very well. He does have thigh cut, which then gives him a little bit of weird lippage going on. And then we also have double jointed knee. We get that awesome ankle bend and a really good pivot. And look at that. We get toe bends. Toe bends. And then the toes, just like his hands. Why did they not paint the toenails? I mean, that would have been very nice to make these stand out more, because when they're all the same plastic, it just gets lost. So this beast, you can actually get him to pose up quite well. And I almost had him posing on just one arm, where his whole body was actually suspended above that arm, but his elbow joint gives out a little bit. It's a little loose. So anybody that picks this figure up, if your elbow joints and stuff like that in the arm are pretty solid, then you should be able to get him into some really cool poses. And this one, I mean, pretty easy to get him posed up. Looks great. And I think it's now time to do some comparisons. So now we got Toy Biz Beast, Hasbro Beast side by side. You can really see a pretty big difference in the figures. A lot darker blue, a lot more shading and washing going on through this figure. You can really see it. I like them both. They're really, really solid figures in my opinion. I do like the overall entire body being sculpted with fur. There's like spots on this beast that don't look like he would be hairy. Head sculpts and everything are pretty good. When you bring them up and you look at them side by side, you know, the Toy Biz one has the blue eyes. The eyes look great. He does have the articulated jaw, which is a cool feature, but then you get him, those weird upper teeth look weird. This one, definitely based off of that comic cover, and it's cool, but I do like the more humanized looking face. But then you can see again on the chest, it has a tuft of hair, and then the rest looks like it's almost like it's blue skin. But a lot of paint that was put into this figure. The X's on the belts are different. I I do like the new one better. It's a small and sleek. This one's just like massive. And again, they're just both really good figures. And one thing that I was pointing out when I was looking at them is definitely the toes. The toenails make a world of difference when they're painted. They look so good when they're painted, and that wash and stuff really makes stuff pop. Even the hands, when we're looking at these, painted nails. That's all it really needed. Painted nails. So, as these guys are not wanting to, their toes can sort of give a little bit, making them want to topple forward. And one thing I do, since I have him in my hand, I might as well show you. Speaking of hands, a lot of people said his hands were way too big. Well, let's take a look at, there we go. Look at that. They're the exact same size hands. So, proportion-wise, this beast isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I really like it. He's been in my collection forever. Still like how he can squat down and get posed very nicely as well. And articulation-wise, I think they sort of both balance out different ways. The Toy Biz Beast gets a lot more leg articulation, gets some wrist rotation and hand bends and finger bends, so a lot more articulation here. And he does have a waist swivel. But what he doesn't have the ab crunch, he doesn't have the diaphragm joint up here, he doesn't have butterfly joints either. This one does give you better head articulation. So it's really whatever one you think works best. I've seen a lot of people start swapping parts out, like these hands and these feet going over here, seeing heads being moved over. I mean, I could definitely see that happening. And I can also see Hasbro releasing us maybe an alternate head, hopefully in the future, with his glasses. But again, this is Jim Lee Beast, not 90s cartoon Beast. So we sort of got to look at it that way as well. But both figures, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to say one's better than the other. It's honestly preference. I'm not a fan of this type of hips. I didn't like them with DC figures and stuff like that. That's one detractor away. I'm not a fan of this. Or if he would have had just the giant ball here, I wouldn't have liked those either. So I do like these hips more. So between the figures, I mean, again, preference. I like this one's hips. And other than that, they're both solid figures. This one doesn't overly take a dump on this one because this one still holds its ground. So whatever fits your collection, go with either one. That's my opinion. And that sums up my unboxing review of the new X-Men Beast from the Calaban wave. If you guys like what you saw, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I want you guys to make sure you check out Toyco Toys and Collectibles. The new website's down below. There's a promo code for free shipping down below too, so you can make sure you're getting awesome collectibles delivered to your doorstep, saving you the headache of wasting gas, time, you know, the hunt. Sometimes that could be pretty stressful. And you're also, 2 Facebook groups are down below. Check those out. Got the Toyco community. Interact with myself, other collectors, talk figures, trade figures. Then you got the pre-order group, which allows you to know what's coming out. In case you're not watching the website all the time, you know, you get in the know with the pre-order group. It's awesome. So I want you guys to make sure you have the best luck hunting. Keep on collecting. Have a beautiful day.